Hello again. Now here we have young James. James will remind you, in case you haven't watched previous videos, James is our 3-year-old off-the-track horse. He's just arrived at Can-Do Equine today, or yesterday, the day before, and this is his first time out in the paddock. And so it's a big deal for this horse, or any new horse, to your place. If you get a new horse or somebody's introducing a new horse to a property, it's really important that we're careful with them to make sure that they don't get injured or injure themselves. So you'll see a few things here that we want to take care of. If you saw the previous video, you'll see that we'd had a wet night the night before, so I've waited until the afternoon so that the ground is a little bit drier, so it's not so slippery. As you can see here, you know, he's starting to trot, he's going to canter, he's going to get into those corners. I don't want him to slip. The other thing is, we've got a hot wire there, that sight wire, the white one on top is hot, and also the one in the middle is hot as well. So there's 2 hot wires. I'm not sure if this horse is familiar with electric fences, but I want them on because I want him to learn that they are there, and I don't want him to be discussing too much or arguing over the fence with his new neighbour. So of course it's really important to choose their neighbour. Now I've put James next to Mojito. Mojito is an 18-month-old Spanish colt. So he is still a colt, but he's a very quiet little horse. He's quite a nice little horse. I thought he'd make a good friend for James. I did have another little colt in the paddock next door, and I've taken him out because he was just too excited. So his emotional level was too high, and I really thought he would encourage James to run around too much, which could get dangerous for James. Whereas Mojito is going to have some interaction. You can see he's mostly following James. He's letting James do the leading, which is exactly what we want. We don't want somebody stirring him up. So actually what's happening here is James is controlling the emotional level. So James is making Mojito a little bit more emotional, but not so much so that they're all getting worked up. So that's really good. This is a perfect sort of dynamic, enough emotion to make it interesting for James, to get James to explore the paddock, to chat with his neighbour, that sort of thing, but not so much as to get him overexcited. So we've got a nice safe paddock. We've let it dry out a little bit so it's not too wet. Now James has come straight from the racetrack, as you can see by his body condition. I love the way he grazes. He's like, oh, I'm only a baby and my legs are so long, how do I reach the ground? It's very cute. And you can see the younger colts in the background there playing. That is not what I want. I don't want to put him in a paddock and have him have that sort of reaction. So that's why I don't put him in with the horse first of all. I want him to get to know a suitable companion for when he goes into his own paddock, suitable companion on the other side. So at the moment I've got Mojito here, and as we said, there's several reasons why I want somebody who's a little bit more emotional than maybe the old gelding. So yesterday when he was in the stables, and this morning I've had him next to an older gelding who's quite a boring companion, but that horse is going to go in the other paddock which adjoins James's new paddock. And so he'll have the old gelding next to him, and then eventually I'll put James in with the old gelding. So that will be his first companion when I get him in with another horse. I'm not going to put him in with this little colt because he might be a little bit too playful to start with, so we'll put him in with the quieter gelding. But first of all, I want him to feel really at home in his new environment on his own. So across the way there, across the other side of the lane, you can see he's got Aussie. And Aussie's an interesting horse. He's a rescue horse. For those of you that are members of my Can-Do Equine Community Hub, then you'll be familiar with Aussie probably. If you're not already a member of the Can-Do Hub, then do go along and join it. It's free to join, and you can meet all the horses and find out about their training on there. Aussie's a rescue horse, and you'll see certain things about his behaviour that show you that he's still quite an anxious horse. So I don't want to put these 2 horses in together, but I don't want 2 anxious horses. I want James to go in with a nice confident horse to give him more confidence in his surroundings. So there's a few things we can see, particularly at the beginning, and you can see now James is really starting to settle. So his head's a bit lower, his tail's not so high, and he's not moving his feet more than he needs to. So he's really starting to relax, which is absolutely perfect. You've seen his whole introduction to the paddock, and that's just the way we want it to go. Well done, James.